Okay, so let's look at on the first subtopic. Okay, the first learning outcome. Okay, so the first learning outcome to explain the 5 phases of the system development life cycle and discuss who are the people involved in the development and their roles. Okay, so actually whether the system changes are major or minor, most of the companies go through a system development life cycle, or in the short form SDLC. Okay, so if you refer figure 20.1, alright, you can see in this figure they uh, mention 5 steps or process in the SDLC. Alright, the first one is system analysis. Okay, so those are the process involved in the first one, system analysis. Do initial investigation, survey, feasibility study, and so on. Alright, and then the second phase is conceptual design. Okay, identify, evaluate the design alternative. Alright, so actually the conceptual design we discussed in the chapter 21. Then the third phase is physical design. um, okay, on the design output, design database, input design, programming, procedure, okay, what are those control and so on. Okay, so that one in the chapter 22. And then the next process is implementation and conversion. Okay, what are the implementation in conversion plan, how to install hardware, software, the training part, and so on. And then the last phase is operations and maintenance, the fine tunes and do post implementation review. Okay, so those are the steps you can read through in the figure 20.1. So the physical design, implementation and conversion, operations and maintenance, that one will be discussed in the chapter 22. Okay, and then you can see in the middle, okay, they mention about the feasibility analysis and decision points. So actually the feasibility analysis ni we discuss in the chapter 20 in the system analysis subtopic, but actually feasibility analysis also involved in this every stage. Okay, if they need to do the revision of the system. And then I put here also the system planning and managing behavior reaction to change. So these two subtopics also we're going to discuss in this chapter 20. System planning. Okay, actually the system planning, um, they will do the in the uh, each of the aspects. Okay, each of the aspects in the phases in the STLC. Alright, so but okay, if you refer other reference book that I mentioned in the first video, that you also can refer to other texts related to system development and analysis. Sometimes some of the author they put the system planning as part of their phase. Okay, so don't be confused. The different authors or different books, maybe they punya explanation is differently, but the content, okay, mostly are the same. Alright, so you don't bother about the steps. Okay, maybe sometimes the steps also the authors they combine the steps and so on. Okay, but for your purpose AIS 655 we mainly refer to this textbook Romney lah. Alright, okay. Okay, so in this chapter 20, we're going to discuss in detail on the system analysis. Alright, so after this we discuss on the system analysis, and then the other phases they will covered in the chapter 21 and chapter 22. Alright, so the next one is the players. Okay, who are the people that involved in this development process. Alright, So okay, the first the players is management. Okay, so the top management is the most important role, okay, that support and encourage in this development project. So the principal role of the management, okay, they're going to determine the what are those information requirement. Okay, they also assist on the system to system analyst. Alright, and then they also assign the staff members or key staff members that will involve in the project development. Okay, and they also will provide or allocate appropriate fund for this development. Okay, then the second player or the people that involve or cooperate in the development is the users. So the users who are use the system, the AIS users. Okay, so the users they will communicate their needs, okay, their information needs to the system developers. So actually the users also important here because when we want to develop the system, we want to meet the users needs. Okay, so the users involvement is important for them to communicate what are their needs to the developers. Okay, so the users also part of the members in the project development team or steering committee, so they can help to manage the development system development. Alright, then accountants also involved here lah. Okay, so we will discuss about the accountants after this. Okay, the role of the accountant. And then information system steering committee, the next player. So the purpose of this IS steering committee, they're going to plan and oversee the information system function. Okay, so they set the policy, okay, that govern the AIS, and they have to ensure the participation from the top management. They give guidance and also control on this system informations development. Okay, and then of course they're going to have the team, project development team. Okay, so each of the development project they has a team, okay, that consists of the specialists, system specialists, the managers, and also accountants involved, okay, in the that involved in the team, auditors, users. Alright, so these team members they will plan each of the project, they monitor the project, they have to make sure proper consideration given to the human element, okay, the resources, and they have to communicate the status, the project status to the top management and also to the steering committee. Alright, so normally the project they will have also a leader to lead the team. So the role of the leader also important. Okay, that must have a good leader to lead the development team. And then the next player is system analysts and programmers. So this is the main people, okay, that involved in the development team. So system analysts they will study existing system, they design the new ones, the new system, and also the system analyst will prepare the specification that will be used for the programmers. Okay, then the computer programmer they will write the programs using the specification that being developed by the system analyst. So the main player here is the system analyst and programmers lah. Alright, so they're going to design and then study the system. Okay, and then also do the programming part is doing by the programmer who write the codes and so on. So the programmer will do the programming, and then also involve external players. External players include customer, vendor, okay, because sometimes also they need the information from external players outside the companies. Okay, For example, external auditors. Okay, maybe the auditors can provide information to regarding the reporting in the audit process. So they also need the information from the other people that outside the organization, that we call it as the external players. Okay, and then the next one is accountants. Okay, this is the one that I mentioned earlier, whereby in your syllabus they also specify the role of accountant in the system development. So actually, if you still remember when you did AIS 615, okay, you learn a lot about the control system, ataupun we call it as the system audit. Okay, and so uh, the accountants here, they advise, okay, in the position that can advise on the control system that required to meet the need of the organizations and management. So what are you had learned in the AIS 615 is important. The knowledge, okay, is important when if you involve in the development process, because the people, the system analysts, the management, maybe they do not come from the accounting area, they do not well versed about the control. Okay, so it's very important for the accountants to advise on this control system. And then the accountants also need to know on the logical design. Okay, logical design, for example, that you learn in the AIS 615 also, uh, data flow diagram. Okay, that's part of the logical design that can form the blueprint of the system. Okay, and then also the accountant, okay, they can provide valuable advice relating to the investment in IT and system, because of the accountants, they have a business background, financial skills. Okay, for example, in the feasibility study after this that you're going to learn in the chapter 20, that's involved in the area of the finance. Okay, so you have a knowledge on the finance, so that can give valuable advice to the management when they want to assess the investment in the IT or system. Okay, and also the last one, the accountant is expected to translate the business rule and requirements to map them in the new system through the program rules. Okay, so this one can be related to the control just now. So maybe when they have the knowledge of the control, they can translate it into the business rule or procedure. So the procedure, the rules, okay, can be put map in the program rules in the system, for the system. All right, so those are part of the roles of the accountant, okay, that also involved in the system development. So actually, I have one students, my previous students, okay, they mentioned about this when okay, sorry. Actually, my experience with the software vendor, okay, they uh, mentioned that one of actually they involved in the they want to develop a new system, accounting system. All right, so the vendor is the our local vendor. All right, and then they mentioned to me that one of the team members is our UITM alumni. All right, so she is our students, the UITM students. Okay, so actually they mentioned here they also that students, okay, that student is the accountant in the company. So what I want to mention here is the role, also the player in the development team also involve the accountant. And then luckily that vendor uh, they mentioned to me that last time the alumni is she is very good lah, okay, in the involvement of the system, okay, and very helpful in terms of giving them the information as I mentioned earlier about the control, okay, advice on the procedure and so on. That's why you as the accountant, or maybe after this, okay, you involved in the accounting area, okay, if let's say in the company they want to develop a new software, maybe they want need you to involve also in the development team. All right, so that's the end of LO1, learning outcome 1. So after this, okay, the next video I'm going to explain on the planning system development. So that is learning outcome 2. So we stop until here, the learning out related to the learning outcome 1.